So, what is success?
How do you want to be when you grow up?
An artist?
I want to be a math teacher. I want to be a nurse. A game designer and illusionist or something. Well, I want to be in the military.
No.
Maybe a teacher.
According to the author from Ground Report, Ron Doltz, success can either be described in terms of fame, fortune, or power. America has come to evaluate success in two ways. The first way, by what a person has acquired, and the second way, by what a person has accomplished.
As a child, my idea of success was just seeing my parents go to work, and then they brought money home, and then we bought things. So I assumed that going and having a job was successful. But as like an older child, you start to learn, or I started to learn, that success was doing what made you happy.
As theorist Henry Wallen concludes, the taste a child acquires for things is associated with his desire and power to manage, modify, and transform them. He continually finds himself occupied with tearing down and building up. In this way, he discovers the details, relations, and varied possibilities of things.
Children have a sponge-like mind that authority figures use to mold and manipulate to what they see is right and wrong. They create a list of checkpoints which encompass going to school, getting an education, committing to a job, and settling down. As a result, we've come to live in a society of expectations. Society believes that by not fulfilling that checklist, we have failed to reach the standard of success.
Proposition needs to change to come to school and customize your education. Come to school and be creative. As an educator, I don't invest in things. I invest in students. I invest in lives. And the outcome of this is that their success is my success. If we get things right for students individually, the rest will follow.
I believe that society and education needs to be more individually oriented. The ones in power, whether it be the administration or our parents, need to not only recognize that we have unique learning styles, but to also accommodate to that idea. As Dr. Kroll states, the value proposition needs to change. This illustrates that authority figures cannot just invest in students, but need to invest in the lives of those students. When society adapts to the needs and aspirations of what the future generation wants, only then can we see change. Students need to believe that what they wish to pursue in life will not have them end up on the failing end of the spectrum, that the outcome dreamt up can be adamantly pursued without doubt of disappointing the ones we care about.
In today's education system, students are constantly tested and pressured in order to fit a definition of intelligence. If they can't get the right scores on tests in schools, they will have trouble getting into college to do what they want to do. High school students, instead of learning and developing a passion for knowledge, spend their time trying to get a 2400 on the SAT and shaping their resumes to fit the part of a successful student. By attempting to fit the mold created by the education system, students reverse their knowledge by limiting creative expression.
17-year-old Quasi Enan got into all 8 of them. Harvard, Princeton, Yale, Brown, Columbia, Cornell, Dartmouth, and Penn. Quasi is in the top 2% of his class at William Floyd High, a Long Island public school, and he had an almost perfect score on the SATs. But he's got a lot more going for him than just good grades and high scores.
I'm in youth and government at my school, track and field. I have a musical theater, chamber orchestra. I am a bass singer in the men's a cappella group. I volunteer at Stony Brook Hospital, church, bell choir, youth choir, play viola, things like that.
Kids have it in their head that they need to be everything and accomplish what others couldn't. They want to look like they know more than they actually do. When these students hyperextended themselves, they lose the whole point of learning. They lose learning the basics and all the details because they were obsessed with having to tackle being NHS president and representative for Stuco. By trying to play the game of high school, students forget to discover who they are, and what they want. The point is not to try to boost a resume that won't even matter in the long run, but to find what they love and go for it.
Kind of clueless, especially looking back now. I was very clueless about the outside world and kind of what the expectations were. I knew I was going to go to college and go on from there, and I didn't really think too much past that.
You always have people who are going to tell you you can't do something. I got labeled as one of those guys. And when I graduated in the top 10% of my class, went off to college, I remember coming back for a reunion, seeing that teacher, and she was very surprised that I made it out of my hometown and was successful.
For me, I got to the end of my high school career, and I looked back and I thought about it, and I was the best at chemistry, so I just went into more chemistry.
Right after I graduated from Baylor, I knew that I wanted to go live in California, and I wanted to go do stuff and pursue a film career there. And so I did. I packed up my car and I moved, and I got a server job at a steakhouse, and I made my way there, and I lived there for 4 years, and I loved it. So even though I've moved back to Texas, and I love teaching right now, so I wouldn't change it. I don't think you should.
All of that was not clear to me until actually, had to get out there and get your hands dirty and experience it and have little failures and learn from that. And it's kind of how you become an adult.
When I grow up, I want to be tall so all can see. I want to talk clear so all can hear. When I grow up, I want to inspire
And learn how to spin like I was on fire.
Whirling and whirling, so bright and so free.
When I grow up,
I want to be me.